Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Cosentino. And on today's episode, we are going to be diving deep into something that I've been struggling with a little bit. And I just feel called to talk about it here on the podcast because I think a lot of people deal with this. And, sometimes it can be kind of hard to navigate it. And that is how to rebuild self-trust when you feel like you keep letting yourself down, how to redirect your goals without meaning that it failed. You're putting in the reps and you're not seeing the outcome. We're going to figure out why you actually feel stuck and what to do about it. Let's get into it. And something that I want to kind of start on the podcast, and that is your weekly dose. And if you follow me on Instagram, I do my daily doses, which are kind of like a little motivational snippet and just like a topic and something to have you ponder for the day and see how your mindset can shift a little bit from that perspective. So I thought it would be fun to kind of incorporate your weekly dose over on the podcast, but have it catered towards like what you're consuming, what you're working on, and what I'm loving. So I would love to hear from you guys on Instagram what your weekly doses are, and kind of we can share and kind of share our ideas. This week's weekly dose, what I'm consuming, I have been reading this book. So I have a Kindle Unlimited, and I was like getting on a flight and like frantically trying to find a book to read because one, I was in aisle seat and I can't sleep on an aisle seat. I have to be on the window side. So I'm like, what the heck am I going to do for the next 2 hours? So downloaded this book and really surprised with how good it is. And I hate to say really surprised, but it was from my recommendations from like previous books I've read, and it's Be It Until You Become It, and it's all about the law of attraction and all of that stuff, and we all know I love that, but it's really interesting. I'm only a little bit in, so we haven't really gotten down to the nitty-gritty of it, but I don't know, it's interesting and it's keeping me entertained, so we are going to keep chugging away at that, and I will report back on my updates next week if it's good or not. So that is that. What I'm working on, I'm really currently trying to rework my routine. And I guess this kind of goes along with this episode, but I feel like I am constantly just chasing the wheel, and I have all these things going on. I just launched my marketing creative agency. I am doing the podcast. I run my own social media and creating content for that. And now, since I launched my marketing business, I'm going to be taking on clients. I also work an 8 to 5 and I'm in a relationship. And how do I make time for my friends and family? So it's like, I don't know how to get all of the crap that I need to get done in one day or over the span of a week, and I procrastinate, and we are trying to eliminate that. So I just really want to see how I can use my time effectively, use my time to my benefit of my strengths. Like if I'm really productive early in the morning, why am I not working on things early in the morning? So I kind of took a trip with Claude today, and if you don't know who Claude is, it's the AI platform, way better than ChatGPT. And I gave him like it's an actual person. I listed out all of my goals, and I was like, give me a 90-day plan to achieve all these goals. How do I fit all of these into my schedule, and like how am I going to accomplish the things that I want when I have 5 minutes? Like I just don't know what I'm doing. So I put it into Claude, and this is kind of a today situation that I'm just kind of redoing my routine after hearing his advice. But it is like, if you're really productive in the morning, why don't you work on your content, your business, all of that stuff in the morning before you go into work? Because you know that you're sharp, you're ready, you're productive. And then after work, do your workout because you can use it to decompress and have that time with your family, your friends, your relationship, or continue to work on things that you need to work on. But putting it in the morning, it might suit you better because you are more productive in the morning. So we are going to try that. That's what I'm working on. And if you have any tips on how to block your time or anything like that, please let me know. I am open to all the advice. Next is what I'm loving. You all know I am a coffee lover through and through, and I have a wonderful Nespresso machine. And I've never been a latte espresso drinker. I love a cup of coffee, but lately when I've been going to get coffee out, I've been getting a latte, and I actually love it. I feel like coffee doesn't really affect me anymore just because I'm an addict. But when I drink espresso, I am like zooming, ready to go. Also, along with the beverages, is a matcha. I was scared to try a matcha just because they are green, and I've heard people say they taste like dirt. My boyfriend and I, we were walking the loop one morning, and we discovered the Bevy. The Bevy Mart, we pass it all the time, and we've always wanted to try it. So one morning, we were like, let's try the Bevy. So we go in. The place is sick. If you live in Wilmington, the Bevy Mart is the place to be. They literally have everything everything imaginable. They had a strawberry matcha, and I was like, do I try the matcha or do I go with a regular coffee? And they all convinced me to try the matcha, and it was so good. And yeah, I don't know if I can master a matcha at home. If you haven't tried one, go to a good place that you know makes a good matcha and that people actually enjoy, and try it, because it is actually very good. That is your dose for the week. And now let's get into the nitty gritty, the real stuff. And we are going to start off with building self-trust. And I want to start here because I think a lot of people confuse self-trust with confidence, and they are not the same thing. Confidence is how you feel about yourself, and self-trust is whether you believe you'll follow through or not. And you can feel confident and still have zero self-trust. I heard this concept the other day, and I did a daily dose on this on my Instagram. Self-trust is the relationship you have based on the promises you keep to yourself. And every time you say something and you don't, think of it as making a small withdrawal. Think of it as like a bank account. Every broken promise is a withdrawal, and every kept promise is a deposit. And most of us have been overdrafting without realizing it, and just making withdrawals, and you're just not following through with anything. I read that concept and I was like, damn, that really actually makes a lot of sense and kind of really puts it in perspective. How does self-trust get broken down in the first place? And it comes in three ways: inconsistency, self-abandonment, and comparison. And inconsistency, like I said, it's saying you'll do something repeatedly and just not doing it. Self-abandonment is ignoring your own feelings, your own needs, your own wants to keep everybody else happy. And that, my friends, is something that we have discussed on here before, and that is you need to put yourself first. No self-abandonment. And I know that's hard if you got kids, whatever, but you really need to focus on yourself. And then the comparison is you're measuring your progress against somebody else's timeline, which makes you feel like you're always behind. And another daily dose that went up on Monday is don't compare your chapter 3 with somebody else's chapter 10. If you don't know how long somebody has been working towards a goal, or working towards this, working towards that, when you are just getting started. You don't know how long they have been working, and you can't compare yourself to that. Don't compare your chapter 3 to somebody else's chapter. I don't know if any of those hit home, but a few of them hit home for me, and that would be the inconsistency and comparison. I am really good about my self-abandonment. I really try and put myself first, and if I know that I need to kind of recharge and be alone, I know that. So inconsistency and comparison are my two biggest things that I need to work on, because I really need to stick to my word and say that I'm going to do something and do what I say I'm going to do. I've gotten really better at that, I think, over the course of since January, because I've been really consistent with posting on social media and all that stuff. So we are working on it and we are getting better. You can say that you don't compare, and I compare myself. 9 times out of 10, we're doing great, and we're not comparing, but then you have that little inkling that you're like, damn, I wish that was me, or why am I not seeing this growth? Those are the two things that we really need to focus on over here in the household. So how do you rebuild this self-trust? You just need one promise a day that you keep to yourself. That is the one thing. You just need one thing a day to keep to yourself. Keep that consistency, keep showing up. It's going to build momentum, and momentum builds evidence. And stack enough kept promises, and you will become somebody who trusts herself. This is where we're at right now. We are rebuilding that self-trust. Next, this one I feel really strongly about, because we have been taught that changing a goal means that you failed, and saying you can't switch things up because it's just going to damage you, basically. That couldn't be more wrong. That is completely wrong, completely harmful, and there's a massive difference between pivoting with intention and quitting out of fear. And we are going to discuss how you can tell those apart, because quitting out of fear is, this is hard. I'm going to fail. I don't want to be humiliated, or what if I don't succeed? All of that stuff. And I know we've all been there. We've all said the things. Redirecting with intention means this is no longer reflecting who I am becoming. This is no longer serving where I want to be. They can look identical on the outside, but they mean two completely different things. Here is the goal audit, and that is 3 questions that you need to ask yourself before you ditch or double down and completely overhaul your life. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Is it something I actually want? Not what looks good. Is it something that you actually want? Next is, am I avoiding this because it's hard or because it's wrong for me? Discomfort means growth. Dread means misalignment. If you are uncomfortable with something and you just feel really weird talking to a camera or something, that is growth. If you are completely dreading something and you're like, oh my God, I really don't want to do this, I really don't want to do this, that means you're misaligned. That doesn't serve you anymore, whatever that may be. An example of this, and something that I was dealing with the past week or so, and what kind of sparked this whole episode, was I've just been really hard and not down on myself, but just doubting myself. And like, what am I building here? Like, is this actually something that is helping people? Is it making a difference? Am I just wasting my time? Like, what am I doing? Do I really want to start a marketing agency? Just kind of having a mental breakdown, like, am I capable of all of this? Was talking to my mom about it, and she kind of talked me off the ledge and just reassured me that I'm on the right path and I'm doing everything, and everything that I'm putting all of my effort into, my heart, my soul, is working. And I just need to give it time. I'm putting in the reps, but I'm just not seeing the outcome yet. This was kind of am I just trying to quit out of fear, or am I misaligned? And I think it was the fear of the unknown. Take that goal audit go step by step and see if this is something that you are just scared or you're misaligned. Hopefully it's just you're scared and you need to get over yourself, but if you're misaligned, then it's okay to pivot. Pick that one thing, that promise that you make to yourself, and do it every single day. You just need to do one. Just do one. And keep going. And then come find me on Instagram at BTY with Jenna and let me know how it's going and if it's working, or if you have any tips, or how did you navigate, how did you pivot. I love to hear it, and I want to see if you guys are dealing with the same things that I talked about in this episode, or whatever. Maybe you have a different thing that you are dealing with and you need somebody to talk it through with, or you need some advice. Hit me up on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. If you haven't already, follow or subscribe to the show wherever you're listening. I really do appreciate all of your love and support, so thank you. Join the community. Come over to Instagram and TikTok at BTY with Jenna. I post daily content. I'm on the stories, and that's where we can keep this conversation going. You can see a lot of the things that I say on this podcast, how I put it into action over on my social media. So, final takeaway, self-trust is built in small moments, the promises you keep when no one is watching. So start with one today and go be better than yesterday.